He might stop you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but listen, he ain't been hit by Terence though. Terence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches gotta be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terence placed some punches, man.
I can totally see Crawford outboxing Canelo, like bad, making him look like taking him straight to school. But again, I do not see.
The fight between Crawford and Canelo keeps getting worse because Crawford keeps saying that Canelo is no match for him. The latest fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has made things worse. Crawford has already started his plan to weaken Canelo's hold on the support of Mexican fans. The boxer from Nebraska is known for being methodical in the ring, and he has used the same approach in his marketing, publicly challenging Canelo's status as the undisputed face of Mexican boxing. This is a daring play, taking inspiration from Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s well-documented psychological warfare, but with Crawford's unique spin.
Canelo, I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out, from Kirkland to Amir Khan to just.
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's
in a real and symbolic way. Canelo has always been wrapped in the Mexican flag. His pride in his ancestry is a big part of his brand. It gives people a link to where he was born, which has helped him become a worldwide superstar. He proudly wears it on his sleeve, challenging people who don't agree with his status as a Mexican boxing hero. But Crawford seems to have found a flaw in this relationship that was thought to be unbreakable. For years, critics have contested Canelo's place among the all-time greats, pointing out that while outstanding, his career has been carefully cultivated with an eye on both business and reputation. This is where Crawford's method becomes interesting. Not only has he gone after Canelo's fighting style and record, but he has also started to hurt the very thing that made him popular, his ties to the Mexican people. In a ploy reminiscent of Mayweather's Mind Games versus Oscar de la Hoya, Crawford has created a line of goods featuring his likeness against a backdrop of the Mexican flag with the message, "Viva Mexico!" This isn't just a drop of goods. It's a remark that directly challenges Canelo's position as the torchbearer for Mexican boxing. It is also a premeditated attempt to divide the Mexican fan base, aligning himself with those who may view Canelo as a businessman first and a fighter second. Canelo's naysayers, who exist despite his huge popularity, sometimes attack his selective matchmaking and perceived avoidance of specific adversaries. This fan base remembers Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, Ruben Olivares, and Juan Manuel Marquez. They say that fighters who challenge everyone battled for legacy above money and characterize Mexican toughness in the ring. For these supporters, Canelo's career, while clearly lucrative, lacks the grit and integrity of the greats who preceded him.
Going with Terence Crawford, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I am not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now.
Crawford's new t-shirts are a direct appeal to this audience, establishing him as the fighter who is eager to take on any task regardless of the financial risks. This is an important phase in the pre-fight storyline where psychological boundaries can be drawn long before the first bell rings. Crawford, known for his relentless pressure and ability to break down his opponents, both physically and mentally, is bringing the same fervor to the fight's marketing. It's a risky approach that could alienate the very fan following he wants to sway. However, it also presents him as the underdog with a chip on his shoulder. He has succeeded in this job throughout his career.
I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate. So what would they be able to say with me going up 2 weight classes? If Canelo become undisputed again and not beat Canelo, what could they say?
Despite all of the drama, the financial truth of this matchup looms huge. According to several sources, Canelo is expected to make up to $150 million for this fight, much beyond Crawford's past earnings. This tremendous financial incentive shows how important this fight is for both men. However, it adds another layer to the story. Critics claim that Canelo's recent results indicate that he is more focused on increasing his money and establishing himself as the best pound-for-pound fighter.
I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer. Yeah. He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So,
Even experienced promoter Bob Arum, who never minces words, recently revealed that he would be unwilling to pay for this fight due to Canelo's perceived lack of passion. If they're going to fight, I think it's great. It's pretty interesting. But again, if I had to pay to see that fight, I wouldn't, because Canelo has proven in his last few fights that he is simply a businessman, Arum stated.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner.
What fight
Why
would
do you
make the
feel
most?
he wipes the floor with him?
What?
Is it because of the weight difference?
Because Canelo, yeah.
He's not there to entertain the crowd. He simply takes the large check. But again, if Canelo fights as Terence is known to do, it could be a very nice and interesting fight. This attitude reflects many fans' concerns who believe Canelo, formerly a furious combination puncher with a chip on his shoulder, has evolved into a smart operator looking to cash in on his fame. Crawford, on the other hand, has built a character as a no-nonsense warrior who goes into the ring with evil intentions and fights as if every battle is a referendum on his legacy.
Crawford is very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. You know, he, facing him off, he's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong.
However, this game offers a huge physical obstacle that cannot be overlooked. Weight has been a recurring topic, with many wondering if Crawford, who has spent the bulk of his career at lightweight and welterweight, can handle the power and toughness of a natural super middleweight like Canelo. This is more than just increasing muscle. It marks a fundamental transformation in Crawford's approach to the fight. Others have faced disastrous consequences as a result of this leap. Jermall Charlo, for example, was brutally dominated when he stepped up in weight classes to face Canelo, serving as a clear reminder of the risks involved with such a move.
The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small.
Amir Khan, a fighter who has faced both Crawford and Canelo, gave a sobering perspective on Crawford's issues. When you start adding weight and moving up in weight to fight somebody like Canelo, you're going to have to spar heavier fighters to prepare for that. So, you're going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on yourself, Khan stated. You'll have to add a few pounds. Does he need to put that much pressure on himself?
Canelo just outboxes. Well, no, doesn't outbox him, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of decent speed as well. So I think Canelo just wins that fight easy.
Would it be a knockout?
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
This is where Crawford faces his physical challenge. He has already proven the ability to adapt to different styles and overcome physical obstacles, but facing Canelo, a seasoned power puncher, is a very other issue. However, it is possible that he is drawn to the fight because of the task. This is a high-risk, high-reward opportunity, one that could either seal his position as one of the finest fighters of his age or reveal the limitations of his physical frame. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford has elicited predictions from some of boxing's biggest stars, with views ranging from total certainty of a Canelo knockout to cautious optimism about Crawford's chances.
I think Bud just got the style that outboxed Canelo. I've seen Canelo get outboxed several times, so I think Bud is the guy.
What did you think when everybody thought Bud was going to lose? When he fought, and everybody thought he was going to lose, and he came in pairs. Charlamagne thought he was going to lose. He came inside.
Julio Cesar Chavez, a living icon in Mexican boxing, was blunt about the match. Chavez, known for his ruthless honesty and vast knowledge of the sport, has flatly discounted Crawford's chances. He thinks the battle is a mismatch, with Canelo's power and size posing an overwhelming challenge to the smaller Crawford. It's truly an uneven battle, Chavez mentioned in a recent interview. Crawford is a terrific fighter, but Canelo is out of his level. Crawford is going for the money, and Canelo will knock him out. This is a forceful, almost dismissive position, but it reflects many old-school fighters' reservations about major weight changes, particularly when the fighter moving up lacks the physical frame to withstand the pounding that naturally heavier opponents can apply.
Es pareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford. But
this opinion is not without merit. Canelo, despite his divisive image, has emerged as a dangerous force in super middleweight. He has vanquished some of the sport's most powerful hitters and sustained shots that would have likely killed smaller guys. The Mexican star's chin is famous. His bodywork is brutal, and his ability to close the distance and cut off the ring is unmatched. Chavez's forecast is based on the idea that for all of his technical prowess, Crawford lacks the physical tools to handle a true 168-pound juggernaut.
Hello, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford.
Oscar de la Hoya, another former fighter turned promoter who knows Canelo well, likewise favors Alvarez in his opinion. De la Hoya, who brought Canelo into his Golden Boy promotional stable and helped him rise to superstardom, voiced similar reservations about the size gap despite their strained relationship. De La Hoya still admires Canelo's raw physique, seeing him as a more naturally powerful boxer. In a now-deleted interview with Fight Hub, De La Hoya stated that while Crawford may have the edge in pure boxing skill, Canelo's stature and strength will ultimately be too much.
I'm saying, and Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
Consider the skill differences amongst fighters. Obviously, Crawford is the more skilled fighter. De La Hoya agreed, but Canelo has the size, the power, and as Bob Arum predicted, he'll go right through him. It will be a difficult battle, but stylistically, I think it will be a one-sided fight for maybe 7 rounds, and then Canelo will start attacking. He starts to take it into deeper seas, and the power will finally become too much.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, this is the truth again, it's a money grab. That's it.
Eddie Hearn, a promoter known for his direct views, had a slightly more nuanced approach, but finally agreed with Canelo. Hearn emphasized the physical reality of the bout, saying that Crawford, while extremely talented, is not a natural 168-pounder. Hearn cited Crawford's fight against Israel Madrimov, a smaller, less physically imposing fighter than Canelo, and observed that Crawford did not look dominant even at 154 pounds. Physically, I believe he's not a big 154-pound light middleweight fighter. He's neither a big 160 nor is he a little super middleweight, Hearn noted. He also stated that Canelo's ability to endure punishment and deliver fight-changing power shots will likely be too much for Crawford.
Be able to bridge this weight gap.
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35, 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to move you.
I give him the lead in the fight. Yes, I think there will be a stoppage if Canelo is involved in the bout. It depends. He has to get to him quickly. Terence will be moving his feet, something Canelo will not enjoy. He wants you to come and fight him, according to Hearn. This study highlights Crawford's physical risk, since the differential in power and durability between the two fighters may become obvious in the latter rounds. Demetrius Andrade, another fighter familiar with the super middleweight level, also reflected on the bout.
Stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision as long as he doesn't get hit.
Big Andrade, who has fought fighters of the same size as Canelo, showed admiration for Crawford's abilities, but stayed skeptical of his chances against the Mexican superstar. Canelo is a big bad boy who can rumble all night, Andrade told Fight Hub TV. I believe Crawford has the skills, but when it comes to Saul getting shots and blocking his power shots, Canelo also knows how to move. He possesses speed unlike a robot. I mean, it is going to be tough.
On Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer.
Andrade's comments are particularly fascinating because they address a vital facet of the fight: the capacity to withstand a punch from a naturally larger opponent. Crawford has amazing reflexes and defensive knowledge, but he has never met someone with Canelo's brute force. Many commentators are worried about Crawford's physical disadvantage and whether his technical ability will be enough to compensate for the sheer force he will face in the ring.
Great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it's gonna be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's always been weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because